The Crypto Markets Update is brought to you by KuCoin, the best place to find the next crypto gem.
Mark Clerkin, he's head of trading at CoinList, which, as Christine just said, is a token platform for early stage crypto projects. Welcome, Mark. Good morning.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me on today.
Thank you for coming on. So what's happening right now? We saw Bitcoin pull back a little bit from its highs over the weekend, and yet we're seeing this sort of like, it's just kind of sitting around 41 right now. Nothing exciting in ETH. Volumes are down compared to the year before, for instance. What's happening?
Yeah, you're right. As you know, we saw a peak for Bitcoin around 69,000 back in November, and since then, we've been on a steady decline. A few weeks ago, we saw a little bit of capitulation and expanded volume in selling, and finally found support around the 33,000 level. Since then, we've rallied and come up into the mid 40s now, and that rally happened relatively quickly and kind of got out of ahead of itself. And so now you've seen just a little bit of a pullback, but today with the market starting to catch a bid, I think we'll continue to see a reduction in volatility, kind of decrease range, and then continue to just catch a bid and slowly work our way up from here.
You mentioned the lower volatility. I went back and for my piece this weekend, I looked at volumes compared to a year ago, and I noticed that while Bitcoin is roughly trading where it was last year, the volumes are tremendously lower. And my question is, does that open itself up actually with institutional players coming on board? The potential of BlackRock offering it on their Aladdin platform, et cetera. Does that actually open it up to more volatility coming up if you have a few big players start to pump into the market in either direction, and a market that just can't absorb those kind of trades anymore? Or do you think that volatility will stay low for the foreseeable future?
Well, that's a good question, and I do agree. We have seen spot volumes decline, especially relative to last year. But what I think is happening here is you're starting to see more transactions occur away from exchanges. So whether that's OTC desks like we have at CoinList, or whether it's through derivatives such as options, people and professionals are starting to express their market opinions in ways other than just through spot instruments. And so I think that's led to a decline in spot for the time being. Now, whether that'll impact volatility going forward or not is to be determined. But again, I don't think the volume has actually dried up. I just think it's gone elsewhere.
With all this attention from the crypto bowl, from the Super Bowl, there was a lot of eyeballs on crypto companies, and one would have thought that may have provided a tiny boost to the markets, but then it actually went backwards. So I wonder, do you think that we'll see a boost from mass adoption or this kind of retail investor attraction?
I hope so. I think it was really fun to watch the Super Bowl last night and see multiple companies representing their brands and trying to grow the industry. Obviously, FTX with Larry David, that was an excellent and amazing commercial. Coinbase, I thought their commercial was awesome too, despite the rankings and the subsequent errors that occurred. Really, I honestly think more and more what you're seeing is just continued broadening of the awareness of crypto and continuing to educate the users so that way they're comfortable in order to be able to invest and partake in this market.
So now crypto, of course, is more than just Bitcoin and more than just ETH. It's also the alts, and you guys deal with a lot of newly listed cryptocurrencies. What's your take on where the alts are right now and how you divide them, the layer ones and the likes and the DeFi? How are you? Where would you focus your assets right now if you were an investor?
One big theme that we're really seeing a lot of currently is interoperability. So whether that's Cosmos or Polkadot or other chains that are really focused on the ability to have interoperability across blockchains. So I think that's going to be a theme that we continue to see throughout the year, and one that I would lean into personally myself.
Do you see alts and cryptocurrencies at large perhaps correlating with the traditional equities, or do you see it taking off on its own at some point in the near future?
I would hope that eventually that they do decouple, but currently I think traders have kind of lumped crypto into the risk on basket of assets. So, despite Bitcoin being an excellent hedge, or at least theoretically designed to hedge against inflation, we've seen this sell-off as rates have started to rise and we start to think about tapering. I don't think that's actually an inflation-driven narrative. I think that's a risk-driven narrative. And so for the time being, that's how crypto is viewed. But over time, I'd like to see it be more fundamentally driven and decouple from, just traditional equity markets. But I think we still have a little ways to go before that'll happen.